Warrior, massive victory with X, with Twitter. And I want to tell you all about it because here on the Warriors, we're always telling you about legislation we're working on. We need you to sign on. We need you to take action. And it can seem and it is very overwhelming. But when there is some positive action, especially at the federal or state levels, we want to share that with you. So I want to just tell you about something that just happened that is so great for kids. But let me break it down a little bit for you and give you the facts. A groundbreaking ruling with our allies, our colleagues at the National Center on Sexual Exploitation in Washington, D.C. Their case that they are working on against Twitter, which you all know is now X, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals found that X, Twitter, does not have Section 230 immunity for certain products, liability, and negligence for some claims based on its abysmal child exploitation reporting mechanisms and X's failure to report their clients that they're representing, because the National Center on Sexual Exploitation has a law center, to be clear about that, but for their failing to report these abuses. And for too long, this Section 230, which you're a follower of the Warriors, you know I talk about Section 230 a lot. Some of you have said to me, it seems a little dry. Listen, if you're going to understand about child exploitation against anybody, big tech, what's going on a state or federal level with legislation, you have to understand some of the background. And one of the biggest pieces of the background is Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. It goes all the way back to 1996, some call it the birth of the internet, when we had two platforms. Today we have thousands of different things between games and apps and platforms. Two, at the time, almost 30 years ago, unheard of. When Section 230 said, you know what, you're deemed a billboard, you're deemed a newsstand, you can't be held responsible for any third-party content. And that has stood for almost 30 years now. And we have seen with the development of these apps and platforms what is going on right now. Sidebars, I like to say, we all love our internet. We live online. It's not going away. That being said, how do we leverage the internet for good? Because where there's good, there's always, I'll say, bad. Because the predators, the criminals, the monsters always figure out how to take advantage with a bottom line is simply to make money. They don't care about kids. They don't care about people. They want to make money. So if we all get that clear, you can understand. But something that has held up lawsuits and abuses against children and all people, let's focus on the kids right now, has been this Section 230. And while there is finally talk in Congress of sunsetting this, taking action, it still has not happened. So every lawsuit or child harm by sextortion or these predators or the dangerous algorithms that we know exist from various studies, from the whistleblowers themselves who have sat in front of Congress 3 times off the top of my head I can think of and said, yes, I'm a whistleblower. I worked there, for instance, Facebook. And yes, they design their platforms, their apps, their algorithms to keep the kids peeled, the kids especially, the kids who will be the future consumers for the rest of their lives, the kids who they can easily manipulate, those young minds, again, proven studies behind this, and develop them into these addictions which we have now with many kids. When kids spend an average of 9 hours a day, ages 9 to 17, that just came out the other day. If that's what just came out, kids could be on 12 hours a day. They cannot live without the phone. So we have to take steps to rectify this. But this is such a groundbreaking study because it has always been the argument, no matter a sextortion case, a subway surfing case, whatever went up, it would always be the platforms. They have Section 230 Communications Decency Act to fall back on. They cannot be held responsible. And as these things have increased, especially Warriors work for 6 years now, I am seeing how more and more people are being harmed. Now, again, I'm not just saying that. We have various studies that prove all of this. But for too long, this Section 230 has stood in the way of justice for victims of all of this horrific sexual exploitation. I mean, call me wacky, Warrior, but I thought, anything against children especially is a crime. And we should be figuring out somehow, why is it taking so long to put some sort of guardrails around that without, as people argue all the time, are the tech platforms affecting privacy. Nobody's trying to steal your privacy. Well, maybe they are. That's for another program. We are talking right now about minors, children. They cannot, big tech, be allowed to run rampant as they have been with no accountability. Why is the onus on parents and guardians and kids to stay safe? So it's just stood in the way, this Section 230, just sticking out like this sore thumb. Why is big tech? Why are these platforms? They're knowingly facilitating abuses, and this is a monumental step. But because the court recognized this yesterday, this is a move forward. We've had a lot of good successes. I want to share those with you because we do talk about our battle all the time, but it is equally important to understand the good people working. Some of you may not even know of, hear of the names that are working behind the scenes to create safety, create change for you, for your children. The much needed Apple extending just last week, and of course mainstream media doesn't really cover any of this, extending much needed safety protections to 13 to 17-year-olds. We're in a constant battle of minors, which, as you know, is 18 and under, where a lot of these platforms say, well, we'll extend protections, although lax. Unfortunately, and I don't like to say this, a little something is better than nothing. They would stop it at 13, and some of them would say, 16 and under, and we would continually fight 18 and under. What about the 16 and 17-year-olds? So it's been this constant battle, and we've been doing it for the last 6 years that we've had the creation of the Warriors. And you know what? Because we know this age group, again, based on studies, everything we do at the Warriors, we can back up with stats, studies. Of course, here, I'm not going to bore you with that and weigh you down right now and cite them, but we can. The most at-risk group is definitely this 13 to 17-year-olds. I would also venture to say that is moving younger and younger, and we really have to start looking at 10 and 11. But that is another problem in anything with child exploitation. The teens, the studies are basically out of date because these things are changing every single day. For instance, we have new apps and games and platforms popping up. You might not even know it every single day. And a shortcut to learning what they are and what they mean and what you need to know and talk to your child about, I always recommend protectyoungeyes.com, our great friend, Chris McKenna, because he has a glossary, a diary, whatever you want to call it, a toolkit. Let's call it a toolkit, where he will put this out. He is on top of these tech things popping out every single day. I go there and then I'll be like, I didn't hear about that one. I don't know about that one. But you would have to be on 24 hours a day to see what's happening. And this is what the kids are seeing. And their brains are being overwhelmed. But Chris McKenna, protectyoungeyes.com, will break down, this came out today. This is what you need to know about it. This is the positive. This is the negative. And he will also, and he's very gracious, you can write to him. All the information is there at protectyoungeyes.com. He will answer a question in depth for you about a tech platform. Now, but let's get back to this. We know that this age group, that 13 to 17, especially for sextortion and pornography exposure, the kids are not even, and you know this, even looking for this pornography, and the algorithms will direct them towards it. We have studies that show us within 2 to 3 clicks, when a child is researching something, not even sexual, they can potentially be directed towards pornography. Remember, something once seen cannot be unseen. So we have a lot of challenges for things. We are constantly lately hearing about, I have to bring it up, Dirty Diddy, as I like to call him, Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, but let's rein it in a little bit. Let's have a Warriors Challenge, our Warriors Weekend, and let's focus on what's actually going on, right? And not put all our sharing and our talk and our questioning about Epstein list, Epstein files. Just a reminder, being in a picture with somebody doesn't mean a thing. Plenty of people just jump in a photo with a celebrity to say, look at me. That doesn't mean you're guilty of anything. So let's kind of start rethinking, not waste our brain power on all of that. Let's think about, as we sit here and AI is breaking forth. I was just sent a report that these very realistic child dolls of little girls, it feels like real skin, You can move the body parts around. They said you can hardly distinguish from a real child. And we've heard about this before. We've had campaigns where we blocked, baby dolls on Etsy because we knew the predators, and we're a family show, so I'll leave it at that. But there are other words to use for these people. We're buying in bulk and selling these things, but we got that all knocked off at Etsy. But you know what? We can't do that forever. Things are just going to happen. So I saw the video of this little girl. I mean, this is something so realistic. And we know they're going to implement and put the AI in there. And we know people are going to have relationships, I'll leave it at that, with these child dolls. It's not real. So these are the issues we have to get around. But even though I'm telling you something that sounds crazy and out there, it's been happening and it's here. In the meantime, stay in your lane, in your own home and community. Talk to your children open and honestly. Remember, when parents say to me, I don't want to open a can of worms, don't scare anybody, I'm not suggesting that. We at the Warriors are about reality, truth, sharing facts, not fiction. You know what I mean? We want you to hear things you may not hear anywhere else. It starts with in your home talking to your child. I believe now, from the time a child is born, age appropriate, you have to start inoculating them against this predation because it is escalating beyond what anybody can keep up with. And we work with tech experts and we're involved in different coalitions. And they say, when I question them behind the scenes, things like, where do you think this is going? What are your thoughts? And they'll say it's not good. So like anything else, it's up to us. So while we at the Warriors, we travel on your behalf up to our state capital of Albany, certainly we've been traveling a lot to Washington. Understand, all of your donations are greatly appreciated. That is where the monies go, into the travel, into representing as constituents that you are. But you may not be able to travel to Washington and walk around the halls of Congress and really get that done. And that's okay, because we do it for you. But also understand that part of our mission. I am not a human trafficking exploited survivor, right? I don't believe anybody, any organization, nonprofit, person advocating for this can do their job without being partnered with survivors and survivor leaders, those who have been part of that trafficking, part of that. We need to learn from them. We need to support them. So a great part of our Warriors mission is learning from them, supporting them, empowering them, giving them monies for their needs. And we are honored to do that on behalf of the Warriors. So I want you to understand, we don't we don't put a lot of pictures. Look at me. Here I am feeding the community. Here we are doing this, doing that. But I will say there is a lot of terrific work being done. Some housekeeping notes. If you're in the Virginia, D.C., Maryland area on August 12th, 13th, the Virginia Office of the Attorney General, Jason S. Mayaris, is throwing his third annual Human Trafficking Summit. The Warriors, me, will be emceeing the event. It's going to be an exciting event with a lot of the attorney generals, from all over the United States are coming into this. They're piling in. I'm very honored to be asked by our great colleague, survivor leader, true warrior, Tanya Gould. I am thrilled that she asked me to do this. I will do anything to help her because she has helped the Warriors. And upcoming August 6th, right here in the New York area, take a trip to the beach. We're going to be out at the resort at Dunes with our joint cocktail fundraiser. We're going to have some fun. We're going to present the Wonder Girls, a teen empowerment group based in New York and New Jersey. They are doing absolutely phenomenal community work, empowerment with each other. It starts in middle school, high school. Now they started in 2020, same time as the Warriors officially. They have now a lot of they started as girls in middle school. They're now entering college. They are the real deal. This is what we need, this youth empowerment. And we also need, as adults, it is our duty in 2025, okay, to support and mentor our young people. That can be a conversation. It doesn't take money. It takes listening. It takes time. I mean, monies are always good for different things, but I'm telling you, everybody's overwhelmed right now, right? Financially, pretty much. Give time. Give an ear to just listen. Let's show our young people we support them. we will help them, right? Because what are we hearing all the time? We got to chill, we're overwhelmed, we can't face it. And those vulnerabilities of our young people lead to them seeking solace on the internet and engaging with those ever-present strangers, those predators. Because if I'm getting on my phone, and I have security features and all that, direct messages, this is how the predators are really working right now, the DMs. So they might see a picture of a young woman or a young teen boy, on Instagram. Innocent picture. He's out with his friends, he's eating ice cream, whatever he's doing, he's by himself, walking the dog. They will reach out then with a DM. And that's where the engagement starts. And we now know, we used to say 48 hours a child or teen will fall victim to a stranger, and 40% of them will attempt to go out and meet this person in real time. We now know it's down to 17 hours. So how does it go from 48 to 17? It could be instantaneous. Kids are looking for attention. Kids want to share. It's not their fault. 30 and under, remember, warrior, they have been born in the bubble. And it's also just been thrown at parents and guardians who can't keep up when they're trying to keep up with daily life. So we have a lot of work to do, but there's a lot of positive. And this step about X, that Section 230, does not apply, since we have all these studies now and whistleblowers who said, yeah, they on purpose had these dangerous algorithms and content. They knew about it. They have proof that, keep going. Come on now, X, Facebook, we want to make money. Remember, all of these platforms are great for communicating. We're doing it right now. You may be across the world and I'm talking to you, right? But here's the thing. They're also in the business of just making money. They don't really care about you. Keep that in mind. Because when I tell kids, listen, they're making money off your backs, that's when the kids say, really? It kind of clicks in their heads. So let us be the warriors. Let us honor our hashtag at the Warriors. Community creates change. Let us take control. Let us be the leaders. Let us be the ones to tell the kids, this is how it is. Throw that embarrassment out the door. Talk to your kids about sextortion, right? Talk to them, 11, 12 years old. We have to. The ages are getting younger and younger. Let's be the leaders. Let's empower the kids. Let's make them the stars in America of everything. Because remember, they are our future adults, are future American leaders. We got to start now. So join me. But for today, we have some great news. We've been pushing back through our colleagues and being part of the HEAT initiative on Apple, all of the big tech platforms, to do more, have more transparency, to put guardrails, age verification, things of that nature. Small little tweaks that can help kids and help families. And they're slowly, as we chip away with them, kind of stepping up a little bit. It's all positive for today. I'll put some links in the body of this video so you can take your time and read about Chris McKenna, Protect Young Eyes, what's happening at Apple with their age verification. Because age verification is one part of what they're addressing, and also now upping the guardrails for 17 and under, which is so important. Why they haven't done it? We don't want to go there. They're doing it now. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's be positive. And I leave you with, if you do one thing today, talk to your children. Easy conversations. Who are you gaming with? Is it just your friends, on X? I'll say to kids, what's the landscape? What are you finding? What's going on? Teach me, because I don't know. I don't know, as this adult woman, what the kids are facing, right? Because there are algorithms. So what content is being sent to me automatically is not being sent, to them, or vice versa. So just open it up. Very simple. No accusing anything, no yelling, no anything. Just start talking about it. And remember always, take a book out. Put the devices down 15 minutes a day. Do something else. Take a walk. Play with the dog, a cat. Do some gardening. Sweep a path. Everybody puts the devices down. Start with 15 minutes a day. And let's start getting off them and getting a little bit back to, doing something physical that may feel good. I'm not kidding about this. Sweeping a path. Again, a book. There's nothing like touching a real book, not reading anything on the phone, right, or laptop, turning the pages, finishing the book. Let's get kids back into books. Let's strengthen their minds, strengthen their bodies, and just go for it. Because you know what? We are all warriors.